December 31st, 1964. The Smith family is gathered in the living room to see the old year out and the new year in. We are at full strength except for three. Michael is seeing the new year in at the movies. Bradley is seeing the new year in at the Civic Center dance. Kimberly is upstairs, sound asleep. The rest of the family is gathered in the living room. We're now going to turn the microphone over to Dorothy, who is going to introduce the present members of the family to say a few words for posterity. Dorothy?
First, I think we'll hear from the youngest member present, who is Joe Peter. Say hi.
Hi.
You good boy? Say yes.
Yeah.
Whose boy you?
Mama. Mama.
All right. Say goodbye. Happy New Year.
Bye.
Say Happy New Year.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
Now we'll hear from David, who is age 4.
Happy New Year.
You say anything else?
How old are you, David?
4.
You good boy?
Yeah.
Whose boy are you?
Mommy.
Who you like best?
My bicycle.
Your bicycle. That's a good boy. All right.
Now, Timothy, please come and say a few words.
Oh, my mother-in-law, I hope you all have a Happy New Year day.
Thank you, Timmy. Now, Matthew?
I hope the new world gets finished by 1966.
Don't look at anybody. Come with you for Kimberly.
I get her up every morning, bring her downstairs. No, not bring her downstairs. Get her a juice and so have someone fix her and feed her. I look after her. Say hi, Dad.
Anything else you'd like to say?
I like the Beatles.
Like school?
No.
Thank you, Matthew. Now, Clayton?
Well, I'm in the 4th grade, and we went to the hockey game when the Saturday Uncle Day was here, and I'm 9 years old. I was not, because it was my birthday last Christmas, which was December 25th, 1964, and I hope you all have a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Clayton. EJ?
Well, I had a Merry Christmas, and I hope the new 102 will get finished this year, and I'm looking forward to see the football games tomorrow, and I hope everybody has a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Ernest. Now, Jeffrey.
Well, this past year has been sort of a busy but exciting one for me. I got a paper route, which EJ had for about 6 weeks, and I've had it ever since. And then our football team, we got beat out in the quarterfinals. Score was 19-0, but they had a good team. And then I played a quarterback, and in the first game I got hurt and I had to go to the hospital. And then we went to see the Beatles, A Hard Day's Night. That was their movie. And I'm president of my class and student council. I hope everyone has a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Now, Lizzie, our great, wonderful mother, is present.
Well, I'm 77 years old and in the downgrade.
No, you're not.
I've been very thankful for all my blessings of the year of 64, and hope everybody has a blessed year of 65. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Lizzie. Back to Daddy.
That was very good. Everybody did very well. Now we get the small fry off to bed. This year, we conceived the idea of making a tape on the last day of the year to record the memorable events that had taken place over the past year, and perhaps putting the recorded tape in the safe deposit box, and then withdrawing them every now and then to replay just for the fun of it. I guess Dorothy is a much better commentator in this respect than I am. She's making some parfaits at the present time, some hors d'oeuvres, and she's mixing me another drink. So I guess I'm going to have to kind of stall here until she's ready to give a rundown on the memorable events that have taken place in the year 1964. In the year 64, the things that are most outstanding in my mind, of course, are the arrival of the long-awaited Kimberly. After 9 sons, she finally arrived to bring joy and happiness into the Smith household. Then we had Mike entering University of Rhode Island as a freshman. On the other side of the ledger, we had Liz with her operations. We had the passing of Doc. We had Bradley with his injured knee, injury sustained in the North Kingston football game that put him on crutches for 3 or 4 weeks. We had the night that the Woonsocket Hospital called up and told us that Jeffrey had been brought in there in a state of unconsciousness following a football game in Woonsocket. Let's see. There certainly are going to be pardon?
The weekend for David.
What?
The weekend visit for David.
Oh, yeah, we had Little Blaggs Dee up here. With Little Blaggs Dee up here on 2 or 3 occasions, we thought we'd never get rid of him or we'd never get him to bed. He talked and he talked and he talked, but after all, his visits give the rest of us a good rest as far as our vocal cords are concerned, but our eardrums are mighty tired by the time that he gets ready to leave. Let's see, what else? What else happened in 1964? Oh, yes, I've mentioned the daughter. Oh, sure.
Dorothy's mother passed away.
Well, that was 63.
Oh, yes, in December.
Yeah. As far as the practice was concerned, the big controversy between myself and the town council came to a climax when I submitted my resignation over a heated controversy over the location of the municipal dump, and in gracious style and after the last hurrah, I bowed out as perhaps the most unsuccessful health officer that the town of Burrillville had ever seen. The new dump was located in an area that I had violently opposed, but they put it there despite my vigorous opposition, which precipitated my resignation as health officer for the town of Burrillville. The volume of practice which came through the office was about the same as it has been. It came up to the average volume. I think that in 1964 we had the addition of a new automobile, a Chevy station wagon. A station wagon being a model that this family had never previously owned. Now, let's see. We had a new washing machine added to the cellar. We had the old General Electric furnace underneath the office finally give up the ghost after laboring for 30-odd years, and that had to be replaced. And Daddy took a beautiful financial shellacking from a distributor in Woonsocket. Our gardens showed the absence of Dorothy's mother. By golly, I'd be done if I can think of anything else to say, Dorothy.
Well, let's play it back, and I'll fill in while you're
All right, she suggests that we play it back, and she'll fill in where I have left the gaps. Now, there's a few minutes of this remaining tape left on this side, so let's see what else we'll put in here. You got any suggestions what to fill this thing in with? I got about 20 seconds left to go.
Well, why don't you tell them about the measles clinic?
Yes, well, that would happen to be in 1963 that we had a measles clinic in this town. But since this is the first tape that we've made, I think it'd be a good idea to stick it in there for my own ego, because there won't be any other chance to put this thing down. Now, let's see. Anything else?
What's wrong about it?
Pardon?
No time to talk about the measles clinic?
Well, this is 1964, not 1963.
Hobby, Mike.
Well, I think we'll flip this tape over and let Dorothy take off. Well, hello again. Here we are on side number 2. Without much further ado, I'm going to give the microphone to Dorothy, who is now going to give us an expose of events as they occurred in the year 1964. Dorothy? You're on the air.
A woman's viewpoint is quite different from a man's. A mother's viewpoint is quite different than a husband's, than a father's, rather. My thoughts for the year are very complicated. First of all, Ernie forgot that on January 1st of last year, we buried my mother, which was a very sad event starting the year off. I was 7 months pregnant at the time. It was a terribly snowy day. We drove, the 4 older boys and myself drove in the family car, and Ernie drove ahead in the hearse from Brown's Funeral Home to Norton, the church in Norton where Mother was so devoted and faithful to working to complete this new building that finally did get completed this year. It was a beautiful service, although it was a very sad day for all of us. In February, we had an event which Ernie forgot. We had a fire down cellar. Ernie had taken me and the little ones for a ride to the airport, and while we were gone, there was a fire in our clothes dryer. We got home, and the house was filled with smoke. In spite of the fact the big boys were here, they didn't seem to smell anything. And we quickly went down cellar and found the dryer burning. There was some new coats of Matthew's new coat burned up, and some pajamas, all of which were covered by insurance. Eventually, we got a new dryer, and also, as Ernie mentioned, we had to go into a new washer, and then the dryer was replaced by a better model, as the first one wasn't removing the lint. I personally felt miserable until finally my hour arrived when I began my labor pains with Kimberly, I had been quite sick with a bad cough and cold during February and I had to take cortisone finally to stop the wheezing, which was present. It was most joyous day in my life when Kimberly finally arrived, and I was conscious to see her born. I had a saddle block for the first out of 10 pregnancies, and it was a wonderful thing to see this beautiful daughter being born and see for myself that it actually was a girl. The excitement that followed this was something. I didn't want to stay in the hospital. I was so happy. I came home in 3 days, and we were deluged with cards. We received about 200 cards and all sorts of gifts and front page coverage in the paper and photographers coming up. It was actually very exciting.
Special resolution from
Our night nurse, Mrs. Lappin's husband, is a state representative, and he introduced a resolution in the Rhode Island General Assembly to officially congratulate us, which thrilled us no end. And in this, we received a beautiful seal, official congratulation from the state of Rhode Island. In early spring, Michael had to go down to Otis Air Force Base for another physical. He had applied. He was fourth alternate for the Air Force Academy, and finally we received word he had been turned down because of an allergy. This seemed kind of ironical when Ernie specializes in allergy, but of course had never skin tested his son. Then we went through all sorts of applications to different colleges and late arguments, evenings when Michael decided he could only go to school in California and wouldn't even want to apply to any local schools. Filling out financial statements and checks here and college entrance board exams here and there. Finally, we were very relieved when May or June came along and we found out he was accepted at University of Rhode Island. We had several sad events happen. We lost Doc in May. It was a blessing in so many respects because he had been ill for a long time, and it's hard to see a loved one failing. And we were relieved that he was sent to his rest. Liz had to go through a series of operations, rectal polyp removed locally over a week hospitalization, and then a return to the hospital in July for a major operation, which was hard for her, but she came through everything fine. Then, as far as Liz is concerned, she recovered very quickly, gained her strength back, and has been a great help to me in looking after the baby, making beds, folding all the clothes. She just returned last month to have her 12 remaining teeth extracted at the Rhode Island Hospital, and soon will be showing off her brand new plates. During this vacation, Ernie took the younger children in Providence to see the nuclear ship Savannah, and also, what was the other, also a sailing ship. Um, the children all started off to school with high hopes of scholastic achievements, although I was rather disappointed by the time open house came to find that they hadn't been working as hard as I thought they had. After a little tongue lashing by the next report card, they had improved greatly. We had word from the Rhode Island scholarship committee that Michael had received a Rhode Island state scholarship with no stipend, but it was an honorary scholarship. At any time in the during the next 4 years at college, he can reapply for scholastic aid, providing his marks are in good standing. We will be going through this next spring at this time with Bradley applying to school. He's already received several letters from Ivy League colleges, hoping that he will apply there. He's a great athlete. He's football, baseball, hockey star. He has scholastic ability, but doesn't quite work up to capacity, as we found true with Michael. Next year, Jeffrey will be going into high school, and I hope he will work harder than his two older brothers. We were very disappointed that Bradley got hurt playing football. I was thankful I wasn't at the game, because I'm sure I would have been more of a nuisance than a help, because I would have probably been quite upset over it. We had long-awaited one day off a year, Yale-Dartmouth football game that we go to, and it just so happened that day that the whole house came down with infectious diarrhea germ, and we were going to cancel it. We had canceled it, and then the next day everyone seemed a little better, and we decided to go, although Daddy went down with a handful of compazines, which he took every 2 hours, and struggled through although we stayed for dinner and the fun of after-game celebrations, even though Dartmouth lost. We went down with the Joels and enjoyed ourselves for the day. Christmas was a very happy time. The boys all went out and bought their brothers gifts, and their mother and father and Nana, which was always a pleasure to see them think of others at Christmas time. I received a beautiful red velvet pajama set from my husband, and my greatest thrill, I think, was in buying a doll, the biggest doll I could find for my beautiful daughter, Kimberly. It's been a happy day and happy year. With this, I will sign off and hope that maybe I can try harder, and we can all try harder for the coming year to do a better job. That's all. Happy New Year. Happy New Year!